Bob McKillop's 5-out motion offense at Davidson is one of my favorite offenses to study and watch, especially since I've been deep diving into film for the last 6-7 years. His offense has finished in the top 10 twice since 2008 and has top 30 offensive efficiency rankings in KenPom's rankings over the last 10 years. Now, with no top recruits and specializing on a system based on player movements, screen, and reading the defense, it's one of the best motion offenses you're going to find. In this breakdown, we're going to look at the early offense, the early offensive spacing, how that flows into their motion offense, and some of the basic reads out of their motion offense. If you're looking for a more comprehensive breakdown of Davidson's motion offense, in the description below I've linked my Coach's Cut extended breakdown with different options, more film, more in-depth film that I can't include in this breakdown, as well as a way to support the channel. You'll also find examples of other teams running it like Tennessee and Louisville. My name is Coach Gibson Pyper. You can follow me on Twitter at HalfCourtHoops. If you enjoy this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. Let's start looking at Davidson's early offense, in particular their early offensive spacing. The main thing with Davidson's early offense and their spacing is their options they look to hit first. The rim run is the first look for any team in transition, but especially Davidson. They sprint their two guards to the dead corner for the ultimate spacing and pull their corner help out. And then we have the trail man trailing the play. The last option is the point guard, who would look to attack off of this. The biggest difference is when the point guard attacks, notice how the trail man just catches and shoots because of the way he's set up. As the point guard drives in, he draws two players, including the trail man's defender. The trail man is then set up for an easy catch and shoot opportunity because he's spacing the basket already. Davidson's pretty unique in how they run their break, and it's all dictated based off of if they're able to hit the trail man that flows into their offense. Here, what I love is you can see the point guard sneaking behind the trail man and not showing which way he's going to attack, left or right. He decides to attack to the left, draws his defender, finds a trail man for an open three. In Davidson's motion offense, there are basically two options that go off the trailer man's reads. The first one is a trailer going inside a pin down screen or screening away. This is when the point guard probes and nothing's open. Either trail man's kind of denied or jammed, or they want to go set a screen away for the guard in the corner. The other option would be to pass it to the trail man, who would then reverse the ball with the pass, and then the point guard and the big both set a stagger screen, or what I will call strong action for the rest of the video, for their kind of regular motion offense. The first option we're going to look at is the trailer setting the pin down. So this would be in the point guard probes. He would either then point, or the bounce out kind of triggers this pin down screen from the trail man. So you can see the pressure from George Washington here on the trailer, going to set that pin down screen for the guard in the opposite corner. The guard usually does a good job of setting their man up. So we'll see in this example a good kind of bounce out look from the point guard here. So the point guard is going to try to attack downhill here. Nothing's there because the defense does a good job loading to him. On this bounce out, almost at the same time, we're going to see the trail man go and set a pin down screen right away. So this pin down screen right here for the guard in the corner. At the same time, we're going to see as this player from the corner comes off of it here, we're going to see the big low, or the rim runner, is going to set a screen on the baseline for the opposite corner to try to trigger their motion offense if the first pin down option isn't available. But here is a great example of setting your man up and coming off of this pin down screen here. We have to look at this action again because this is such a great thing for a shooter to see, or a coach to show your shooter. Set your man up back door, turn him around completely, come off and knock down the open shot. Now let's look at when the trailer sets the pin down here and the first option is not available. So here we see the bounce out that triggers the trailer man setting the pin down screen for the corner. The corner is going to come off it as the opposite corner is going to come off this kind of like baseline rub from the big. The point guard is going to hit the player off of the first pin down screen, and then we're going to get another pin down screen from the trail man setting this little down screen here deeper into the paint. This allows the other corner player to come off another screen looking to get a shot. There also will be an opportunity for a flare screen, but we'll look at that in a bit because I want to show the other option when the player is not open and he rejects the screen. So we just looked at the player coming off the screen. This time we're going to look at the player in the corner is going to reject or refuse this pin down screen into the paint. The big is going to lift out of the paint and the opposite corner is going to continue through like normal. Now, what I love here is now this turns into a stagger screen. So we're going to see a double screen low with the first player who rejected it set in the screen, and the second player, the trail man, is going to screen as well. Also in this screen example, see the bigs lifted out here, but see the screener, the first screener is going to have his hands up. I encourage a lot of coaches to set screens like this if players are cutting through at the same time so they don't get called for a legal screen. Especially coaching in high school, we get called for illegal screens that aren't illegal all the time. So having your hands up in the air on that cut is a good teaching point. The next option, or the other option, is after the trailer sets this pin down and the big exits, or the rim run exits out to the wing, the corner continues to the opposite side, is to have the point guard come off a flare screen. So as the ball gets passed to the player off the pin down, the rim runner then is now going to lift to the perimeter and set a flare screen for the point guard. At the same time, we have that pin down again on the same side for the opposite corner to run off of, similar to Virginia's mover blocker action. So this, you'll get a pin down on one side and a flare screen on another side. So this is obviously perfect world. First pin down is covered off the trailer. We look, the second pin down, and then the flare is open for the point guard. Same action if the first screen is refused or backdoored. So here we're going to see the trailer set the pin down screen for the corner. The corner this time is going to reject or refuse that into the lane again, like we always saw before. The big lifts again, the corner continues into the middle, turns into that stagger screen that we looked at the previous clips. Now we're going to have floor spacing. So the trailer is going to exit to the corner. The player who cut off the reject or refuse is going to continue the opposite wing. The big at the top of the key now is setting a flare screen for the point guard in the middle of the floor. Since most teams tend to chase over the top of flare screens, that's how they generally regard this. You will see the reverse curl option, or going to the basket basically. So they're going to force the curl into the lane, and because they have great spacing and great shooting, this cut into the lane is usually open. So you can see the defender here is trailing over the top. The big has to stay attached because of Davidson's 5 shooting threats at a time on a court. And now we're going to see that reverse curl into the lane for easier scoring opportunities. This is also great action against teams that do a good job of scouting Davidson and pressuring up, because that reverse curl is going to be open because there's no way for them to have any help either on the weak side or the big cheating off of the other big. Now let's look at when the trail man is hit and the ball gets reversed. So the point guard probes early. He's going to pass it to the trail man. The trail man is going to reverse the ball with a pass, and then the rim run is going to clear to the ball side. This is the basic action of Davidson's motion offense, the most common action you'll see when you watch them play. We're going to see the ball get reversed and have the rim run's going to clear ball side like I mentioned. This opens up the lane, and then we have the point guard setting the first screen and the trail man setting the second screen in the stagger or strong action. Now as this continues, we're going to see the rim runner is going to exit the lane. Now what this does is essentially empty out all the space in the paint, and against teams that like to pressure like VCU or press up, we're going to see all this space open for the trail man and the point guard to set these screens high with their defenders guarding them attached. The first option is to curl or tight curl that into the lane for an easy layup. This action will work against teams that play more of a sagging or clogging defense, like a pack line defense that Virginia plays, and especially works if teams are aggressive against those pin downs and try to shoot the gap. So here you see that strong action. The defender here is going to try and shoot the gap on this screen, and that allows for a setup for a backdoor cut into the lane. As we can see, the rim run clearing out to the ball side corner, emptying out the paint, allows for this easy read and nice backdoor cut off the curl. Now, the option here, we're going to look at the normal action where the strong action starts to occur. We're going to get the first curl is going to curl into the lane. Then the second man, or the point guard, is going to come off of the second screener from the trail man. This is where I get the term Boston from, and we'll look at that in a second. The reason why I call it Boston is because I saw the Celtics run it in 2009, 2010. Although Davidson's been running this action for longer, should have called it Wildcat. Here Here again, we're going to see the normal action of the ball being reversed. Then we're going to get a refuse or a reject of that first screen, and it's the same read. The trail man's going to set the first screen, point guard's then going to come off of the trail man screen. So you just read and allow the corner man to dictate what you do. He rejects it into the paint. We have now a curl opportunity for the point guard coming off the trail man. At the same time, the player who refused, it sets this little back screen or that baseline runner screen, part of their offense. The curl is there, and then we have the trail man setting that pin down, is going to roll, puts the defender in a tough scenario to guard, ends up in a layup. This main action from Davidson's offense is why I call it Boston. We can see the horn set that the Celtics are running for Ray Allen here. Of course, Brad Stevens has run it in his 5-out offense for the Celtics over the last few years, especially when he had like Al Horford. And then obviously it would be, Steph Curry and the Warriors run this all the time as a part of their motion offense, as a part of their sets, and allow Steph to score off of this main action. Thank you so much for watching this breakdown on Davidson's motion offense. Like I said, if you want more of an extended breakdown, you can find that description in the Coach's Cut extended breakdown below. I look forward to doing more of these.